Hello friends, and welcome to my very first behind the scenes video where I show you developing a concept from idea all the way to the finish and sharing and putting it out into the world. My name is Jennifer, for those of you that don't already know me. This is meant to be a really broad look at how I create a conceptual image. In the future, I'm going to really break down each step that I take and give a lot more detailed information on that precise step and how my process works for me. So thanks for being here. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Hit that thumbs up button. Now let's get to the fun stuff.
The first step is choosing our concept. Now I do this in a funny way. I put everything into a random generator and I let it select it for me. If you follow me on TikTok, you can go see more about that there. Then it's time to plan. Bust out the sketchbook, do a word dump, do a sketch, get your ideas, write down everything that you need, and then we are on to step 3, where we gather our materials and we prepare. For this image that we're creating, I chose a very kind of romantic looking top. I'm not going to need a skirt because you're not going to see my legs. I generally don't wear a ton of makeup, but I add definition to my eyes and I give myself a little bit of powder, and I always do something with my hair. Now it's time to shoot the image and capture our stock. So I'm getting all set up here with my main camera, my Sony, my settings. Oop, I think I got the eye cover. And I use my phone as a trigger, as a remote trigger. So, and I can see myself on the phone and change settings if I need to, which I love. So I'm going to be using this camera to kind of film and talk and kind of explain what I'm doing next. Now I've put a solid background up, and that's what I'm going to be sitting in front of because that is what is easiest to cut out. As you can see, you don't need a lot of wall space. That's 4 feet wide right there. This is where I will be doing the work, and this honestly probably takes the least amount of time. The shooting, it's the editing process that takes the longest. So I'm going to turn to where the light is coming in. I'm in a nice openly shaded area. And again, you're not going to see my legs mostly in the shot. So that's why I still have on pants and not like a dress or anything. So I'm going to try to sit in a flattering way. And this will be down here again. Not going to see it very much. I'm trying to get into a pose, very Alice-like. And pull in the knees there a bit, maybe going down. Press this one over. There we go. I like that. My camera is still processing some quite large raw files right now. Writing them to my card, and I'm going to go in and plug them in. But before I do that, I need to get my stock of my little boat or my teacup. And to do that, I'm going to actually stop controlling with my phone. So I've got this awesome teacup that actually was my husband's grandmother's, and I've used it. If you've seen my picture, Tea Time, she's actually using this cup and saucer, and we use this one. I use this one as a prop a lot because it is already imperfect and chipped.
That's how it came to us. So I like to use this one for those little imperfections. To me, it just makes it feel more authentic and, I don't know, more, it's got a real feeling to it. So that's why I like to use this one. So I'm gonna take some stock pictures now of this cup, and these will be the pictures that I put my Alice into. Now this cup is very tall, so what I'll probably do in Photoshop is widen it instead of making it so deep. It'll probably be a little bit more shallow and wide. But I want to take a picture of it in the same light that I photographed myself in, because that will make it easier to blend in post. So that's what you want to do. So let's do that. All right, teacup pictures done. I have other things already shot for stock for other projects that I've done. Again, I like to shoot everything in kind of an open light like this, but since there's going to be multiple layers over the top of those objects, like clocks and other things, then I don't mind not re-photographing them for this purpose. So I'm going to go back in, I'm going to get changed, and then I'm going to start the editing process. Ready to go inside? Okay. Step 5 is editing, where we go from the original image to the complete image. So I start with an image of myself, take it into Photoshop, fix up colors, cut myself out. Then I go to my stock. I took 2 pictures of the teacup and I merged them into one. So I had one picture of a teacup. Then I did the same thing and cut it out with Photoshop. Then I placed myself in it. See, I adjusted the size of the cup there. I placed it in the water. Then I began to play around, placing different objects in the water. I added some depth and color. It was at this point in the editing process that I realized I did not want this picture to be inside of a house. So I added a sky. Now, I don't know why exactly, but the walls of the room were just not sitting correctly with me. So I wanted this to be outside at sea. So I added a sky. I toned it a little bit. Continued, changing my tone, playing with color and contrast, added a little bit of a texture, and then I pulled it in and finally added kind of a painterly feeling to it. But it wasn't done. It was missing something. And then I realized the sky was just far too empty. It needed that bird. I'm so happy. Now for one of my very favorite parts of the process, sharing my image. Every artist, we're all on our own journey, and we all have to make a decision about how we share our stories. Me, I'm one of those open book types. I don't shy away from talking about hard things that have happened to me, because if my work does one thing and that is for one person to feel like they're a little less alone in this world, then I feel like I've done my job. So that said, I very, very carefully craft captions to go with my work. It may be a long caption, it may be several paragraphs, it may just be a few sentences, but I think about the words when I am preparing to share the image, because to me, they go hand in hand. When I'm crafting my captions or my blog post or whatever is going to go along with this image, I think about a lot of different things. Where I usually start is with a word dump. So everything that comes to my mind as I'm looking at this image, it may be my concept title, like Overflow. It may be something that I was thinking while I was doing the sketch, so I'll often flip back to my sketch notes for reference. If I start to run into trouble, like I just am having difficulty putting the words together, I'll refer to poetry, to prose, to song lyrics that I've heard that kind of evoke the same emotions and feelings when I hear them as when I look at my image and I sit with the feeling. And there's no one right way to approach crafting a caption, but this is how I get there. And I like to think that I write captions that really help the story and help people with their own sort of battles, inner, outer, whatever, that they feel a little bit better after they've read and after they've looked at the image. Once I've got my caption ready, I go to share it. Now, where do I share it? Well, some pieces are not appropriate for a large audience, so those will be private. They will be shared with a very small group, and I will get feedback on those, and I'll keep those to myself until such time where I'm ready to share them in a more public forum. Most of my images go on Facebook, Instagram. Sometimes I'll share my process on TikTok. And sometimes I'll put them on Pinterest or YouTube. This, like I said, is my very first YouTube behind the scenes look at how I approach creating an image. I'm really hoping that I can grow this series out into more, niched looks at each step and how they work. You can send to an email list, and if you're one of those fortunate artists that has gallery representation, then you can contact your gallerist, let them know that you have a new piece, and generate some interest in having a print made and hung in the gallery. Thank you so much for watching the video and coming on this journey with me. I really appreciate every single one of you that are watching. Hopefully I'll see you very, very soon in the next video where I talk about where ideas come from and how to take them out of your head, put them on paper, and create something magical with them. Thanks. See you soon.